Okay, I was just chatting a whole bunch and apparently it was not filming. I was wondering why the screen disappeared. Hello! Welcome back to an episode of Waste Less Wednesdays. It has been a minute since I've done one of these, but I'm super stoked to be jumping back into them. Have lots planned coming up for it and really excited. Hummingbird! Oh my god! Have lots planned coming up for this particular series, but for kicking it off, going to be sharing what I use for deodorants. So there are lots of different options out there. One of the more common ones you probably see are the paper wrapped ones. You can also make your own deodorant, which is really cool, or you can get them in jars. So I've kind of gone through all those particular options. The paper ones are typically pretty good because they can be compostable. Just be mindful of if there's any plastic lining or anything like that before you do compost those packages. But for me, I unfortunately have really sensitive skin, and so it's been a lot of trial and error in terms of finding a deodorant that works for me. Routine has become one of them, which I really, really love. They have tons of different options for vegan, non-vegan, sensitive skin, everyday use. But this is one of the few natural deodorants that I found where if you're someone who gets bad anxiety sweats, and if you know what I'm talking about, natural deodorants often just don't work for dealing with that. This is the only brand that I've found so far that works amazing. So it's not sponsored, by the way. Routine would love to work with you. I've used tons of their products, but their options, they do have the paper or compostable cardboard packaging. I've been using their glass jar ones just because I like to reuse jars afterwards, and there are refill locations. I've yet to find one for Routine's deodorant, unfortunately, near where I live, but yeah, I will probably look at switching over to the paper alternatives, but I just ended up, this is what I found at a store nearby. They have so many scents and all of them smell absolutely amazing. Right now I'm using Cat Lady, which is I think the vanilla, coconut vanilla or something like that. It doesn't say on here, but they've got so many options and they all work amazing, smell amazing, highly recommend. What's cool about these alternatives didn't bother to order a new one before I left, but I was milking it right until the end. I was using smidgens, the tiniest amounts, probably an eighth of the amount you saw on my finger there. It still surprisingly worked. I found whatever scent it was that I had for that one worked better for the anxiety sweats. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, Sexy Sadie, or the dark purple magenta color packaging. It was that one. Worked really well. And the sensitive or vegan option, whichever one it was that they have of those. And then, another option that you can use for deodorant, which I found really interesting and worked for the last month and a half, 2 months of my trip in Australia, when I did run out of deodorant and could not be bothered. Well, not that I couldn't be bothered, but I couldn't find one that was working for me. And fresh lemon juice. I shit you not. I saw it on Instagram as a reel one day. And it popped up for me a couple of times, 2 different people. And you just take lemon juice. I was just using like half a lemon and just rubbing it directly onto my skin. You can just like squeeze it into a spray bottle and keep it in a fridge, and then it lasts up to like 2 weeks, I think I saw, which I would probably switch to if I did decide to go back that route. Anxiety smells, like anxiety sweat smells, non-existent the entire time that I used it. Lasted so long. Like I could go like a full 24 hours without having to reapply pretty much. It was really cool. And the only reason why I haven't gone back to that is I feel like I'd be curious to do the math on it. I feel like it would potentially end up being more expensive in the long run based on the way that I was doing it. If you were squeezing the lemon juice into a bottle and keeping it in the fridge and only needing to like replace it every 2 weeks, I feel like it could potentially be cheaper in the long run. Again, I haven't done the math, so I can't fully speak to it, but it's a really cool backup option if you're interested. So yeah, to run through the options, glass jar, making it from scratch, the cardboard, paper, compostable packaging ones, and using lemon juice. There you go. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Voiceless Wednesdays, and we'll see you next week.